All right, what's going on? This is BoxingWave. Just finished watching the James Degale Andre Dirrell fight. It was a great fight. The fight lived up to the hype, at least the hype for the diehard boxing fans. It was a great fight, a very evenly matched fight, regardless of that one judge scoring it 117 to 109. I was actually on par with Steve Farhood. I thought the fight was a draw. I thought Dirrell won the last round, but he didn't fight as if he wanted to really win the fight. Dirrell really needed to win that round and look impressive, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, if we're basing it on the judges' scorecards, it still wasn't enough. But I thought Dirrell fought as if he was up in the last couple rounds, and I thought that was a bad decision by him. Okay, he needed to really go out like a warrior and not go out like he's fighting comfortably. So I was very disappointed at that. But let's talk about the fight. First round was a pretty even round. Okay, give it to whoever you want. I thought it was Dirrell. I think I might have gave it to Degale. I can't remember. But the second round was Dirrell's most impressive round. Okay, all the way up until he got knocked down, and he got knocked down. He was hurt bad. Okay, Degale knocked him down again. Okay, so he got a 10-7 round there. Even after that round, Dirrell needed a couple of rounds to recover. I only had Dirrell winning 2 of the first 6 rounds. Okay, 2 of the first 6. And then the second half, I had Dirrell winning all of the rounds except the 11th round, I believe. Okay, so I'm not sure, but I was pretty much on par with whatever Steve Farhood had. Okay, so anyway, I thought the fight was a draw. Dirrell was coming back in the second half because I thought Degale was just trying to land one big shot. He fell in love with his power. He was throwing the right hook. He was still drawing the overhand left, which was the punch. And before Dirrell got knocked down, I knew that was going to be the punch. I knew it because you saw it coming. You saw Degale was trying to land that one punch. You felt it. You saw it coming, and it landed because Dirrell's arms, his hands were just too low, and Degale was coming over the top with that punch. You just knew it was coming. And he went crazy with it for the rest of the fight. He really didn't have much success landing that same exact punch. And he landed a few good right hooks throughout the fight, but he was just throwing one punch at a time. He wasn't really as busy, especially in the second half of the fight. And this is why I thought Dirrell was coming back at this point. Most people thought Dirrell was winning a lot of the second half of the fight rounds, but it's really hard to come back when you're down. You have a 10-7 round that you lost. You got knocked down twice in one round. And it's really hard to come back. You really, really got to have to show that Warriors mentality. It's one thing to win rounds and you're outboxing them and you're winning rounds a little bit off activity. But it's another thing when Degale, his punches still had more effect than Dirrell's. Even though Dirrell was landing more, Degale's punches still had more effect when he did land. Okay, Degale had more power. And I said all of this. I picked Dirrell to win because I was more of picking the guy that I'm more of a fan of. But I knew it was a 50-50 fight. I knew it was a toss-up. And it was a great fight. It definitely lived up to the hype. The only thing I was mad at was the 117-109 scorecard. I thought that was a little too stretched out. I follow a lot of people on Twitter. And I mean, the most that I've seen on a scorecard up was maybe Dirrell or Degale up by 3 rounds. That was the biggest stretch. But I really didn't see too many people seeing Dirrell winning. So I kind of figured that Degale will probably get the win, if not a draw, okay? Now, as far as the future, the only fight I want to see is either a rematch or the Andre Ward fight. That's the only fight that's acceptable to me. It's clear to me that James Degale is the best guy in the division right now, outside of Andre Ward and Carl Froch. Okay, Carl Froch didn't want to fight Degale, so let's just eliminate him from this because he vacated his titles and he's only talking with Triple G or whatever. All right, he wanted to fight Chavez Jr. and that didn't happen because Chavez went 4-for-4 and got destroyed, and he didn't want to fight Andre Ward, and he didn't want to fight James Degale. So let's eliminate Carl Froch. We have Andre Ward, who has been inactive and he's fighting at a catch weight. Will Ward continue to fight at 168? Can he make 168 anymore? We don't know. He might have to go to 175, or is he going to start doing the catch weight thing like everybody else? I have no idea what Ward is going to do, but I really, really hope that Ward is able to make 168 for we can see that James Degale fight, because right now it's really seeming like James Degale is the guy to beat. It seems like James Degale, without a doubt, is the guy to beat. Okay, at this point. Okay, so I would like to see that. If not, yeah, I think Bottle Jack is going to be fighting George Groves. You got some of the other guys too, but I think Degale is clearly the best guy if we're not talking Andre Ward. And Degale has been very, very active, and his resume is stacked now, being Andre Dirrell, who was on a good run before he ran into Degale. So, like I said, all I want to see at this point is either a rematch or Ward. Degale did the right thing. He called out Andre Ward at the end of the fight. He said he wants to fight, and I believe him. I don't think he's joking about it. I don't think he's saying what the people want to hear. I really think he wants to fight Andre Ward, and not for nothing, he might really give Ward a good fight, because he proved here that he could be a good boxer. He was outboxing Dirrell at points, and he had the power advantage at that. Okay, so very impressed with the win. I thought I scored it a draw, but I wasn't mad at the win at all. Same feeling that I got against with the Bottle Jack Anthony Dirrell fight. I thought it was a draw, but I thought I wasn't mad at the decision they gave to Jack, because I do think that Jack outworked Dirrell in that fight, and Dirrell just didn't do enough to separate himself and really want to win, especially when he was down. It's like you might be down in this fight. You got to fight as if you want to win. But the thing about Andre Dirrell, it seems like every time he opened up, he would get hurt more. He would get hurt with a shot, and he'll go back, slowing down, just trying to pot shot a little bit. It seemed like every time he tried to open up, throw more combinations, he would get countered and hurt. So he was very tentative to throw more punches at points of the fight. But I still thought he was more active in the second half of the fight. It just wasn't enough for the judges to give him the win. All right, so not a bad decision. I thought it would be a split or something. I thought it would be a majority or a split. I was very shocked at the 117-109, but I'm not mad at all. I'm not mad at the win. It was fair, especially for it to be in Boston. I thought, Dirrell would probably squeeze out a draw in that fight, but he didn't. They called it fair, and it's the second time like in a big fight. It's like the Sean Paul Kell Brook, which was another fight that was close. Even though I thought Kell Brook won the fight, he came to the States and won a decision here. Same thing happened with James Degale. Came to the States, won the decision here. Degale is definitely one of those guys you got to put up there now, So I would love to see the Ward fight, and I'm gonna go back up and watch the Evan Rodriguez fight, because that's gonna be a good fight too. All right, peace.